Alright, Shalom. This is Brother Shamar from the GMS SF Bay Camp. First off, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to our apostles, the elders who rule well. And Shalom to all the Akim out there preaching His word in truth and sincerity. And I just wanted to make a quick little video dealing with what's being discussed throughout the different Akim, as far as like bros that's claiming to be in the truth, being slothful and not trying to grow and not examining themselves and not doing what you're supposed to do as a servant of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. So the first scripture I wanted to go into is Sirach 32:17. It's a sinful man when it says a sinful man will not be reproved but findeth an excuse according to his will. And that's pretty much what most niggas do. When you being lazy, you're not in the mood, you don't want to do something, everybody's quick to find an excuse to why they can't do it. But really, at the end of the day, there is no excuses, because you can't sit here and actually say that you never have time to read, no time to make videos, no time to study, but you got time to do everything else that's worldly, right? You got time to go out, you can go out to eat, you got all the time in the world for a female. You got all the time in the world for little different things that you like to do for so-called fun, right? But you don't have time to actually sit down and put some real work in for Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And only a simple man will make an excuse for that. Because if you're a man of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, that's the work coming first before anything. And that should always be your mind frame. Putting the work of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai first before anything else, even before yourself, like the scripture says. And the next scripture I want to go to is Ephesians 4:22. That you put off concerning the former conversation the old man, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind, and that ye put on the new man, which after the Most High is created in righteousness and true holiness. So when you come in here, you're supposed to be putting off that former conversation, the old man, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust, which is the lust of the flesh. Because when you was in the world, that's pretty much all you were doing, is fulfilling the lust of the flesh, because you wasn't in the spirit. You didn't have the spirit on you then when you was in the world. You was pretty much just doing whatever, everybody was just being a nigga, just doing whatever you felt, whatever your lust wants you to do, fulfilling your lust, following after your heart, which is your heart is deceitful above all and wicked, like it says in Jeremiah. And when you come into the truth, you're supposed to put all that off. You're supposed to renew yourself and renew your mind, be renewed in the spirit of your mind. So you're supposed to put off all of that and change everything up. Really, you're supposed to be focusing in more on what you focus it, like Apostle Gabar said in his sit down. You're supposed to be mastering yourself, and he went into that in his video, saying how pretty much you're supposed to examine yourself, really, thinking about everything that you're doing wrong, which you can always do something better. At the end of the day, nobody's perfect here. So you can't say you can never do better. There's always room to do better. You should always want to do more. You should never feel content like you're doing enough. But that's the issue with dudes right now in GMS. They still got that old man spirit that they had in the world, as far as being all passive, want to be just chilling, kick back, like the apostles say, doing the bare minimum. And the bare minimum ain't getting you nowhere. The bare minimum can get your ass kicked out. The bare minimum could get you can get condemned just for doing the bare minimum. When dude come up to the camp, he got a question or try to ask you a question, you doing the bare minimum, you don't even know the fucking answer. If you was somebody that was actually putting in work, you would have the answer to that question, or you have a response for that statement, whatever they come at you with. Next scripture I want to go into is Galatians chapter 5 verse 16. This I say then, walk in the Spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusteth against the Spirit. Yeah, so you're supposed to walk in the Spirit, and walking in the Spirit is reading the scriptures, listening to videos, meditating upon the scriptures, always thinking and referencing Yahweh, thinking upon and referencing Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And because if you're not doing that, you're gonna do the lust of the flesh. It says walk in the Spirit, and you shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. So if you're not walking in the Spirit, what does that leave the door open for? For you to be fulfilling the lust of the flesh, because you're not walking in the Spirit. So you're gonna just be doing what your flesh wants to do, not what you need. You're doing things that you want, not things that you need. Because things that you need pertain to salvation and pertain to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Because that's all that we need in this captivity. Nothing else is going to do us any good in this captivity. We can't save ourselves. Only Yahweh Bashem Yahushai can save us. And verse 17 says, for the flesh lusteth against the Spirit, and the Spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary the one to the other. These are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. And that's why it's a fight, because your flesh is battling against the Spirit. You may want to, in the Spirit, you'll probably be at work or something. You like, when I get home, I want to read some scripts, watching videos, looking to some articles, this and that. But then when you get home, or after you get off of work, and your flesh is telling you like, man, I'm tired, I want to just lay down, just go to sleep, just chill, relax, kick back. You gotta, that's a battle right there in its own. Fighting against what your body wants you to do, which is your flesh, versus what your spirit wants. So it's a constant battle. You can't just let the flesh overtake your spirit, overpower your spirit. You gotta let the Spirit overpower your flesh and walk in the Spirit. The next scripture I want to go into is Ecclesiastes 12:13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter through the Most High, and keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. And it was fearing the Most High. If you fear Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, it says keep His commandments, and part of His commandments is feeding the flock, doing the work to build up the Akim out there. You're not supposed to just wearing the commandments doesn't tell you to do the bare minimum. It doesn't say that anywhere. It says it says every man is working for the same penny. Why the hell should you get a penny if you're not putting in any work? You're just sitting there in the field, basically. You're just out there. You got hired. Now you just went out there in the field, and now you're just sitting there while everybody else is working, and then you still expecting to get a penny while everybody else is actually putting in work, when you're just sitting there doing what you consider the bare minimum, which is nothing. And verse 14 says, for the Most High shall bring every work into judgment, with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. So even if you try to act like you're an Israelite when you go to camp during the week or in your day-to-day life, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai knows everything you're doing. It says, for the Most High shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing. Nothing's gonna be hid. All your actions that you're doing when you're outside of the Akim and on your own, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai sees that, and whether it be good or whether it be evil, you're going to be judged according to your actions and according to your work that you've done. And so whether it's good or evil depends on what you're doing. Are you doing things that deserve a good judgment or an evil judgment? You need to consider that when you go on your day-to-day life all the time. And what I'm saying goes for myself as well. Always thinking, just being pretty much just examining yourself always. like Apostle Gabar said. And, this is the last scripture I wanted to go into real quick to finish off on this, because I feel like this is pretty much a good one to end on. It's Matthew 7:13. It says, "Enter ye at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be that go in thereat. Because the straight gate is narrow, because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it." And you already know that word straight means a path of difficulty. So it's not going to be easy doing this work. If it was easy, everybody would do it. That's why it says the broad path is the one that everybody goes, because that's the easy way. Being slothful, doing bare minimum, not doing shit really, just being there, just being idle. That's what everybody does. That's easy for anybody to do. Anybody can do that. But actually putting in work, actually battling these demons, doing what you're supposed to do, that's really the hard thing. And that shows your character. You doing what you know was hard to do, even though it's hard to do it. It's simple, yet you can easily get that lazy demon on you, and you can easily let that overconquer you. And I want to go in etymology real quick for the word straight, because I was looking into it. It says it's right here, focusing on this point. It says a sense of difficulty and plight. And I looked up the word plight, and it says the main point I want to focus on is right here where it says the Middle Dutch, the Klitsch, and it says obligation or duty. And that's pretty much what this is. This is our duty to do the will of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, like I read in Ecclesiastes right here in 12 and 13. For this is the whole duty of man. So our duty is to do videos, do more than the fucking bare minimum at the end of the day, because it's our obligation. You've been given this knowledge and understanding. Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai didn't just give it to you for you to just fucking sit there and just hold it in your pocket and not do anything with it. If you're not doing anything with it, it would be taken from you and given to a brother that's willing to do his obligation and fulfill his duty, which you didn't want to fulfill. So hopefully this lesson was edifying. It was just pretty much quick and to the point. So I'm gonna give all praises to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, double honors to our apostles, the elders, and shalom to all Akim out there preaching His word in truth and sincerity. And brothers, stop doing the bare minimum and do more, like the apostles been saying and like the Akim been saying. Now it's an actual set standard out there for you to do. So we'll see who fulfills their obligation and their duty as they supposed to do. Shalom.